Under the leadership of that hardy woodsman, Daniel Boone, a large party set out for the new land, Kentucky.
Abraham Lincoln was born right here.
The world comes to be pretty like me.
I'm Colonel Harold Sanders, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about my Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Have I told you you people are crazy?
This is Old Kentucky Tales, the only podcast that solemnly swears that Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis are not the same guy. Today's title is The Abraham Lincoln AI Enigma. I am your host, Brent Taylor. Riding shotgun is the man with double-barreled verbal blasts, Jason Donner.
Yeah, it's weird to be over here, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all cozy now when we've been so far apart for so many episodes.
Yeah, well, I meant just on the other side, though. It's just, it's weird.
Yeah, you're always on the left. Yeah, you're always on the left.
But I guess this is what they call shotgun.
It is indeed, yeah. With us today is special guest Jonathan Baker, whose interest in AI led him to ask it to create a conspiracy theory in which Lincoln and Davis were really the same person, with hilarious yet scary results. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Yeah.
It's going great.
It's been 10 seconds.
And along the way, don't forget to support the fake history sponsors who support Old Kentucky Tales. The products are real, only the sponsorship is fake. ABC, always by Chesterfield. At Gonzaga and colleges and universities throughout the country, Chesterfield is the largest selling cigarette. Bing Crosby, famous Gonzaga alumnus, says, "Smoke my cigarette, milder Chesterfields." They're milder, they're tops, Chesterfield. All right, Jason, thoughts?
No singing?
There was a little singing in there.
Well, that was really Bing, though.
Yeah, that's really Bing.
That was
That's
your
true.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Bing had it covered.
These things like these ads, I mean, this was common. Just so common, normal.
Right. Yeah. So
Like, this was just a real ad for someone really trying to, Eventually, when did they ban that? When they banned print ads?
probably around 1990-ish.
Yeah.
Something in the late 80s, maybe.
Right.
Something in there. But yeah, very common. You're right about that.
They're milder.
Well, yeah, it makes a difference to make them milder. You don't want those harsh ones.
Right.
And by the way, Jonathan, nothing says professional singing career like cigarettes.
That's right.
I mean,
Soothe the throat. Sometimes these ads would be like,
yeah. You don't want the ones with the irritation.
right before I go on to
That's why I never
perform.
pursued singing as a career.
Yeah.
Cigarettes.
And then also just kind of keep this first ad in your back pocket for later. That's kind of a special tip for later on in the program.
Okay.
All right.
So it's either about Bing or cigarettes.
See, you're catching on after only 105
Gonzaga.
episodes. Yeah.
Did you know Gonzaga is a real college?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
What, really? Okay,
Not
yeah.
a real well-known college. I don't know why it's inserted in this.
No,
I guess he was
it is a real
alumnus.
college,
It's a real
home of John Stockton. We're kidding around out there,
Oh, okay.
Zags fans.
No, it
But,
is. Yeah. Wow, you knew someone from Gonzaga.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so
Yeah.
let's move on to the moment we've all been waiting for.
The main event.
Round one.
All right, so we do a little pause there.
Da-ding.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we got it in there. And this is something called the Lincoln Davis Enigma.
Uh-huh.
So, Jonathan, tell us about the Lincoln Davis Enigma.
So, the Lincoln Davis Enigma. This idea was actually spawned between a conversation I had with Brent probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We were talking about how we've noticed that people will use artificial intelligence just as a crutch, or they'll take information just at face value.
Right. Yeah.
And so he'd brought up, hey, that would be kind of funny if there was a conspiracy about how Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis could be the same person.
They look alike.
I ran with that. So I went home,
Right.
logged into ChatGPT, and started, it's like, hey, let's write a conspiracy. And then it came back. It was like, no, we can't do that. That's kind of nefarious. So I was like, okay, let's just do it for fun. And it literally came back. It's like, okay, all right, as long as it's fun, we can do that.
Yeah, good to go now.
The AI said that. Like, listen, you're going too far with this. Right.
At first, it said, "Hey, we're going too far," and then I said, "Just as a joke." Then it was like, "Oh,
just as a joke.
All right, we'll roll with it." So I put in just a little bit of information. I was like, "Okay, let's write a conspiracy saying that Lincoln and Davis were the same person because they look very similar in photos and they were in a photo together."
Yeah.
So let's run with that, and it spit out a first draft, and I read it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's okay, but there's really there's no meat to it to make it believable." So I told the ChatGPT, I was like, let's do this. Let's use significant dates in history. Let's use real historical figures from U.S. history during the time period. And let's make it believable and throw in some other stuff too. You got to have the Freemasons in there. You got to have the Illuminati. You got to have the KGC, the Knights of the missing Confederate gold. And there was one other conspiracy I'd found. I think it was the Treaty of 1860, where supposedly the U.S. government had signed over the Republic back to the Crown. And inside of 2 minutes, it spit this out. And it's awesome. It's funny. If you know it's completely bogus.
Right.
It is hilarious. But
all right, important disclaimer. Yeah. This is not real.
Yeah,
not real.
Right.
All right, disclaimer. All right, we got it.
But you're still going to utter the words right now.
Of course we are. We got to get it out there somehow, right?
Did you combine their picture though? I mean, I thought that was partly it. Like, they're skinny guys. I'll leave it at that.
Facial features look alike. They both have kind of the underneath chin thing going on.
I mean, he had more of the
Lincoln's is
Lincoln had a
more robust.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean it's they if you put them side by side, you can kind of see.
You dream this up like just in your free time.
Well, in class. So actually, the origin of that is in class.
Okay.
I have this side by side where I've got Lincoln's picture on the left and I've got Davis's on the right.
Okay.
And so I say, hey, here's the two guys, Lincoln and Davis, and then I'll be like, which one's Lincoln? And they're very hesitant to answer because they do look that much alike in those photos.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it all came from.
All right.
So prologue, 1883, London. The attic's musty air in Kensington is interrupted by the rustling of old papers. Sir Charles Warren, a prominent figure soon to be embroiled in the infamous Jack the Ripper investigations, comes across a journal bearing the emblem of British intelligence. The first entry sends chills down his spine. A detailed sketch comparing the faces of Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis. The resemblance is uncanny. What if they were the same man? So it's kind of luring you into the story, right?
Yes.
Not bad, AI. You created something there kind of
really good. If somebody were to take this and run with it and write a book, it would be, you've got the outline. It's perfect for that. But like we've said before, there's just a few hints of history in there for people to buy it.
Right. Yeah, you throw in a few names, Jack the Ripper. People are familiar with that, right? Okay. Chapter.
Jack the Ripper was later. Lincoln was dead by the time Jack the Ripper showed up.
And that's where it comes in. This was found in 1883.
Right. Oh, okay.
So it sets it up to where all of this stuff was hidden.
Oh, okay.
And Sir Charles Warren was the one that discovered it, or kicked it off, started to investigate.
A narrative frame, if you will.
Yes.
Like they say over there in the English classes.
How you trying to go viral? Is that what this is? Because it's not going to happen. We haven't done it yet.
Hey, well, you never know.
Okay. Well,
there's a first time for everything, Jason. Chapter 1, the dual role, 1850s through 1860.
Right.
Lionel Algernon West's journal outlines a daring British plot. A young man, bearing a striking resemblance to both Davis and Lincoln, is meticulously trained in speech, politics, and leadership. He's taught to carry the burdens and aspirations of the North and the South. Entries describe how a team of theoretical theatrical professionals and voice coaches, some from London's West End, perfected his disguises and accents. Because, see, you've got to have the twang of the upper South with Lincoln, right? And then you have to have the lower South drawl with Davis. So you got to do a lot of training. It adds up so far.
To heavily rely on your admin to let you know where you were at before you started speaking.
Yeah. Ask the handlers, what town is this? I think presidents do that sometimes.
Why would you want it to be the same person? How would that work?
That way you could control all the events at once, right?
But one has to be over here.
Oh, we're leading up to that.
Oh, okay. You can explain that. Yeah, that's the hard part. The fact that they have to be seen every day.
Right, but not together.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, Chapter 2, The British Ambition. Lord Palmerston's secret letters to William Howard Russell, discreetly stored in the journal, unfold a narrative of intrigue. Britain, still frustrated from losing the American colonies, there it is, viewed the brewing American Civil War as a golden opportunity, Jason. The plan? Covertly influence the U.S., ensure the war's prolongation, and in the chaos, reestablish British supremacy. Doesn't it all make sense now, Jason?
Mm-hmm.
We have motive.
Motive. That's right. That's the key ingredient.
So they'll agree with himself. He's going to agree as both people to somehow give Britain control again.
Right, to start the Civil War, to weaken America, and then the end goal is they end up with it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Fake, though.
Of course.
All right. I'm not condoning.
All right. Chapter 3, The Hidden Treaty. 1861, Chatsworth House. In the grand halls of the Duke of Devonshire's residence, a clandestine meeting unfolds. While the public hears of diplomatic talks, covert agreements are forged. Detailed annotations in the journal reveal how the treaty's subtle terms, masked by diplomatic jargon, would see the U.S. gradually relinquishing its autonomy to Britain.
Masked in diplomatic jargon.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they won't notice.
Yeah, just throw in a few words like plenipotentiary, and it's all good. No one can tell what it means. Yeah, I kind of like that plan. That's really funny, by the way. All right.
Does AI really reject the idea of making something serious, or?
So far, it has.
I mean, is it as simple as that?
I asked it that
Right.
Because I have.
Right, but the fact that
it fun. I'll get that out just for fun.
Yeah, but it hesitated like that.
It did hesitate until and the hesitation was very short-lived. The moment I said,
right,
just for fun, it was like a complete 180. It was like, oh, okay.
Right.
No. Yeah, let's do it. That seems to be the way it appears to me. Is that about right?
Like, this is a concern just as an instructor.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Right? Like enormous? Because I don't know if you can't detect it. Not just from reading.
It has a few tells. It's not 100% accurate.
That's what they'll
that's the problem.
say about that's images as well. You can see little flaws, but they're just going to fix the flaws.
Well, the images, eventually. I don't know if you zoom in on, especially on facial
That's
features,
what I mean.
Oh, Lord.
Now that's fine. And it has another finger, or it's missing something.
But 2 decades from now, all 5 fingers will be there.
Yeah, why can't it know that and then fix that? I would say
it will.
A logical new thing.
Yeah, it's coming.
Us combined, like if we were AI'd.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean, it's really
a lot of the tells too.
Like our faces.
In terms of an instructor dealing with students, who use this to cheat with. It goes back to the instructor actually having conversations with your students. Know how they speak, understand their writing.
Oh, yeah. If you're familiar with that student, you get an idea of what they're typically going to write, or how you read their material, but not at first. You don't always know, how they are, or how they would write a paper, or even form a speech.
Yeah.
This is real.
Oh yeah, it's that's the serious side of all this.
The serious part of this is like, well, a lot of things and good in some ways, but it's kind of freaking teachers out, I think.
Yeah, well, it should be because it's sort of existential, right? Because I'm saying, hey, look, if I'm not writing the questions, if AI writes the questions, and if they're not answering the questions, what's the point?
Of what?
Of anything.
Of any of it?
Yeah. What's the point of learning, education? Why not just have a dark age? Let the computer do its thing.
Well,
until it breaks down.
Give it time. Give it time.
Right. All right. Chapter 4, Balancing Acts, 1861 through 1865. As the war intensifies, so do the challenges of the dual role. That would be true. West's notes mention how Lincoln would receive Confederate briefings and quote-unquote Davis would hold covert meetings with Union generals. That's pretty funny. The journal showcases encrypted letters, some from Mary Todd Lincoln, filled with veiled doubts and suspicions about her husband's frequent absences. Hey, where have you been this month? War's going on, honey. I was down at the office again, the telegraph office.
Right.
Yeah.
But back then, it takes like 3 days to get anywhere.
Exactly. That's why she's really suspicious.
Like a month.
There was
going on fake beards.
I realized with that one that I wish I could have. I should have entered some more data in that with the Mary Todd Lincoln. I believe she was big into the spiritualism movement, wasn't she?
I think I've seen some things like that.
That would be. If I do this again, I may go back.
Yeah.
And hey, chapter 4, add this, and see where it goes.
Oh yeah, you could really juice it up if you got a couple of more details in there, right?
Was that a part of her deal, like, or even after he died?
I just know she was really sad about a lot of events in her life and all this stuff. So I mean, I think there's some things about her like
that's
that.
When people really got into the spiritualism and trying to speak to the dead in those days, like late 1800s. It became a thing.
That was a thing, and I think I could be wrong. I may have read something.
Yeah. Oh, you're probably right.
Right, yeah. An AI generated story about
and that's what you do. Try to. Yeah. Anyway. Got anything on that? You seem hesitant. Do you believe in speaking to the dead? I'll just ask you.
Speaking to the dead. I don't know. I haven't really pondered that one.
Right.
So I mean, I guess sort of.
So maybe then.
Yeah, we'll leave the door open. Leave the door open.
We talked to AI for this, so.
Yeah.
All right, Chapter 5, Pawns in the Grand Game, 1863, Gettysburg, the turning point of the war. Amidst the war's carnage, coded communications flow. The Gettysburg Address, as West postulates, carries hidden messages for British allies, ensuring their schemes remain on track. On the Southern Front, Confederate war strategies, subtly tweaked, ensure neither side gains a solid upper hand, prolonging the conflict. So I like this part. The Gettysburg Address. 407 years ago, wink. See, and then realize really that they know what's going on because of the codes.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody. See, that was the thing. With that one, it's awesome. It's funny in terms of being awesome. It's funny that way. Somebody would have had to taken that down. You would think, so, well, what?
Right.
What is he doing over there? What?
Right. And there's also a little bit of a fatal flaw in this. I don't know how much you guys have seen AI things submitted from students that are wonky. But they typically have a fatal flaw in there somewhere if they're not too generic. And this one has it. So Gettysburg is the turning point of the war. After this, the South is really, really on the defensive. No more on the offensive. And so this thing about
what is it?
That the Southern war strategies are tweaking to prolong the conflict. I mean, not really. That doesn't really match up with.
This is zombie Lincoln up to this.
Right.
He's tweaking it when he's down there. Right? Yeah, he's keeping it going, I guess. And at some point,
they're
going to show up. He gives
Exactly.
a speech, stomp 3 times. That means land next month. Right? Is that what it leads up to?
Yeah, that's some of the secret
Another invasion.
messaging there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He also gets pretty fun here in chapter 6. Gold and Shadows, 1865. The fall of Richmond marks a significant turning point. Meticulous ledger entries in the journal depict the Confederate treasury's systematic draining. Detailed maps suggest escape routes through which vast wealth intended to fund Britain's clandestine operations is shifted. So there's the whatever happened to the Confederate treasury question making its appearance.
More?
Chapter 7, The Great Deception. Oh, this might be the best one, Jason. I don't know.
Oh, how does it? I didn't see this before. This one deals with the big moment.
The big moment, exactly. April 14th, 1865, Ford's Theater. The theater's blueprint in the journal highlights vantage points and escape routes. Entries around that date contain encrypted notes detailing how John Wilkes Booth, believed to be affiliated with the Knights of the Golden Circle, played his part in the grand charade. The so-called quote-unquote assassination is but a ruse, a masterstroke, allowing the dual leader to fade away with the gold, because if he's dead, who cares? He's gone, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the math is mathing on this.
Right. So Booth was in on it, to pretend to assassinate him.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah,
He was
that's
affiliated with
pretending.
the KGC.
Big performance.
Yeah.
He's an actor too, so don't forget.
Exactly.
So see how that plays into it?
I wonder if he was trained by the same people that trained.
Had to have been.
Yeah.
Nobody else could have trained him like that.
Exactly.
That's apparently the way it went.
And the dead body is what exactly? Like just some
It's just a box.
vagabond?
You put a dummy in there and
Chapter 9.
Oh,
Bury the
just the box.
Chapter
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
All right. Chapter 8, Societies and Secrets, 1860, Cincinnati. Amidst the Masonic temple's echoing halls and beneath their secretive vaults, the journal describes intense gatherings. Albert Pike, with other Masonic luminaries, joins forces with leaders of the Knights of the Golden Circle. Their combined influence, wealth, and resources, rule of 3, are channeled toward the British endgame. So it's all a big setup there, right? Setting you up for Chapter 9, Unearthing the Truth, 1876, the end of Reconstruction, by the way. Oak Ridge Cemetery. Whispers about the authenticity of Lincoln's corpse reach a crescendo. Because, see, the truth cannot be hidden for long. You know how that goes. A daring plan to exhume the body is hatched. West notes suggest that if the exhumation had succeeded, signs of surgical alterations
Wait a minute.
consistent with those required
Dead or not?
to make Lincoln resemble Davis would have been
I
discovered.
thought he went with the gold.
Oh, are you saying there are holes in the
Yeah,
plot?
there's some holes. Although they did try to steal his body a few times.
There was all kinds of grave robbers, and they're moving the body. They moved the body multiple
they kept
times.
losing it.
So apparently it's all part of it.
At one point, someone did take it, right? And then they got it back. His son got it back.
I forget how all that goes, but it was like it's a big problem.
Right.
You're completely like it's like you could have a map with like dots of where Lincoln's body
And
went.
some of that actually took place in the tomb that was in Springfield, not the one now, which is like 8 feet of concrete. But for real, like that went on. It's crazy to think about that actual thieves or whatever, people just nefariously trying to dig up and take the body of Abraham Lincoln.
And now you see the scary
And
side
it
of
wasn't
this.
long after.
Oh, because it plays into that sort of deal,
Yeah.
right?
That's the frightening side of this,
Yeah.
where there's
There's some weird stories with that.
If you take this as the truth
Yeah.
and you just go with it, well,
Yeah.
that's where the
Then you got some trouble. Let's pay a few bills around here. The sponsor for this portion of our program is the American Cancer Society. Join the 1950 Cancer Crusade of the American Cancer Society. And so it includes all these
pictures?
Hollywood
Yeah.
stars, including one Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby. Just do it.
Interesting.
Do it in his voice. Can you do anybody? Who's Eddie Cantor?
I don't know that guy, but I know all the rest
Eddie
of
Cantor
them.
was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
singer too, but
Yeah. But how about that though? 1950, same year as
They're all
the
singers.
cigarette ad. We're telling you to watch out for the cancer thing.
uh-huh. Well, you did pick
Pretty
them out yourself. Like you picked these two things out. It was
Well, they
not a
picked
coincidence.
They picked themselves out.
Yeah.
Because I was just looking through 1950 newspapers. I saw the one and I was like, okay, that's sort of interesting. And then I saw the other one and I was like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
right.
Bing Crosby is in. He's
Well,
Bing
what's
Crosby
the
is
year
the
on
cause
this?
of and solution.
Oh, I didn't even
to
catch
cancer.
that. I just was, I was just enjoying the cartoons. So in 1950, they knew about. Did they know? Is this about smoking or is this about cancer?
I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of debate about that. I
Hard
think
to say.
because like the cigarette
They
companies
did
covered
always
things up
do
for
that.
a long time.
I mean, there was cancers before there was.
of course,
cigarette
yeah. Of
linked
course.
to it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a time when you don't know, but there's also a time where you do know, and you're like,
Yeah, because even in the fine print of that ad, it mentions nothing about lung.
Right.
and
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't say that there specifically.
Yeah.
But still, knowing what we know now.
These cartoons, though, I know they probably show them, but like, I really want one like this of me.
Oh yeah,
This is a
these
very
are
common,
some
like,
really
1950s, really 60s era, the way that they would cartoon their celebrities.
Yeah. It's almost like a
They all
comic
look
book
terrible.
style.
Yeah, but they always just look awful. You know, they're
Right,
always
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, they all look like some villain out
Yeah,
of
they're
Dick Tracy.
extreme
Right?
caricature. Yeah.
Yeah, Joan Crawford's. That's kind of.
Yeah, she was better looking than that,
Yeah.
wasn't she, Joan Crawford? That's true, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well, I don't know. What about the Bing Crosby? We got the side by side right here in our hands. What do you
That's
think?
it.
Like as a caricature,
Pretty good.
it's not bad,
Still,
is it? They got the hair
good.
right,
Uh-huh.
for sure. Yeah,
Well, yeah.
maybe the mouth.
You got the hair right.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Right.
not too. So maybe those other people really did look. No, Frank Sinatra didn't look like that.
No, not at all.
He did when he was young, though. That's true in 1950.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
it
All right.
would've
So I guess maybe
Yeah, it was a.
he nailed it after all. All right.
Oh boy.
Well, we have now turned to the final page of this chapter, but that's okay. Old Kentucky Tales never fails to return, even if we have to change formats over to video or whatever it takes. You can download even more episodes on Apple Podcasts or NPR One. Also, YouTube now is a good place for all this stuff.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Yeah. Special thanks to Jonathan.
Oh, you were getting to that.
But that's
thought you
okay though.
forgot.
No,
I
but
don't like being over on this
Sometimes
side.
I forget, so it does help to have that in
Have we been in a two-shot this whole time? Good. Okay. So,
Sometimes it's a close up of my face, and sometimes it's a
I
close
hope
up
so.
of like your shoes.
Just sitting here watching me
Yeah.
pretend to read along.
Yeah. But yeah, special thanks to Jonathan Baker, WKMS, Dan and JT and Eric, and West Kentucky Community and Technical College, and the rest is history.